Hi, good morning everyone. Thanks for joining us for today's webinar. As part of our Customer Success Initiative, this is the 14th in a series of webinars that we aim to deliver from our Customer Success team between product training, product updates, tips and tricks to help maximize your use of the platform, and anything new and great that we have that's available for you, our customers. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation or have any feedback, just type them into the question box in your GoToWebinar control panel. We'll answer as many as we can at the end. If not, if we don't get to all questions, we'll be happy to answer them separately by email after the webinar. All are welcome. My name is Chris Dunphy. I'm a Customer Success Manager here in Experlogics. I've been with the company now just coming up on 7 years. I've previously led the support team here, as some of you might know, and in the Experlogics digital commerce sector, and now work in our customer success department. So today we'll be walking through our new free web shop application, Service Desk. Some of you may have heard this already through maybe conversations with some of our sales partners or some of our support team, perhaps. I suppose what we want to get out of today is just a very quick overview. I won't take up too much of your time, but we want to give an idea to you and a brief demo of what it is, what it does, and what it can do for your business, along with some of the practicalities around it. Before we do that, we might just cover just what we ran through. We might just run through what we covered in our last couple of sessions. So in our last session, we looked at the most recent product updates released at the end of 2023 and at the start of 2024, such as product reviews, sales rep credit badges, as well as an in-depth overview of our JavaScript API. This session, like I said, is an overview of Service Desk. Customer Service Desk adds an online communication channel to your web shop. Once installed and activated, your customers can add queries and comments to their sales orders, quotations, invoices, and credit notes from within their web shop dashboard. The idea is that you're giving them a tool to enhance the already existing services that they have, not only as an e-commerce tool to place orders, but to communicate to you, the merchant, so that they have a hub of services and tools so that they can not only check the quotation, place the quotation, but get information on the quotation, or on the sales order or the order history, whatever that might be. So it's really to enhance that full 360 experience for your customers so that they have a full self-service hub, and we'll run through that now today. In this short session, we will be talking about activating the feature through the App Store, creating and viewing comments as an end user, creating and viewing comments as an admin user, and then just kind of observing the email notifications, how they generally work, and observing the new management interface screen to control this communication. The general takeaways you would expect to take away today would be you'll be able to offer your customers a further enhancement to use their dashboard as a self-service hub online from one place. Your sales staff, if they have management interface access, will be able to amend quotations or orders for customers through these comments without tying up like sales staff on phone calls, etc. And you'll have a flow and process in place to handle these types of communications with your customers. The idea is that, to give you just an anecdotal example, of course, the ultimate goal is like to increase sales through the web shop, but some of our customers, apart from having an online tool which is like kind of industry leading and award winning as regards like just placing the order, retrieving your B2B price for that customer specific price, which is like our super USP. What we found is that it's that more and more customers are looking for that full, as I said, like 360 experience, where they're looking to log into a terminal where, apart from placing a quote, they can get the quote changed, or they can get information directly with a sales representative about like when a shipping date might come, or if they want to check on the status of an order, maybe if they look into their order history and then the order history is maybe still set to in transit rather than picked, things like that, the merchant can really get to the crux of, getting that information very, very quick and without having to feel that they're um, you know, in a queue of in a queue to get that information and response back from the merchant. So it gives the end user a really, really tidy, nice experience overall. So I'm going to share my screen now. Yeah, you should be able to see my screen. Hopefully you can anyway. Okay, so I suppose the first thing, as I said, is we're just going to dive into our management interface here. So I suppose I already have this app installed. That's why we can see this service desk button here on the left-hand side. Just presume for the moment it's not. So I'm going to jump on down here to our App Store. You may have noticed this, or you may not have. We've done a lot of work in our App Store over the last few months, just to make it a real good hub for anyone who wants to get in, see what services are on offer. Some are premium apps, but the vast majority of what we've seen as our most popular apps are actually our free ones, and those range from, our really powerful Google Analytics integration to having a custom add-on for changing how cookies operate, anywhere down to, well, most of the payment gateways that we have on offer that are available for anyone really to use. But if I filter here down by free, or active, inactive, whatever the case might be, I can see here as I get down here, I can go into under customer success, I have service desk. So I see settings. You click into settings, you get brought to this next page. I suppose for you, the difference would be instead of the activate, it would be activate. So you'd enable it, hit activate, and then when you're finished, you're left with this section here. So for you, the admin, what you'd notice here, if I jump into administrators, in administrators, when you are giving somebody access to the management interface, the best thing to do, if you want somebody to be able to, kind of take that sort of overarching communication, maybe it's one person, maybe it's multiple people, I don't know. The best thing you can do is to give somebody admin access, and then if you don't tick anything here, if you just for the moment, going forward, I'd imagine we probably have a separate. Going forward, we probably have a separate section purely just for adding in service desk. But for the moment, when nothing is checked, that means that person has access to everything in the management interface. So that's just a little thing just to keep cognizant of. Because you may be setting up some admins like with particular access to banners and categories and messages, and then you might be wondering, oh, well, how come they can't see service desk? So for the moment, until something like that is added in specifically for that feature, if you can just leave everything blank once the admin account is set up, then they'll be able to see that once the feature is activated. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'll get back to what I was looking at. So under comments, we can see that we have this split into the type of comment that somebody has placed, whether somebody has looked for a line of communication on an invoice. A live order is really order history. So somebody has placed an order and then they're looking for some information on that particular order. I mean, the likelihood is that it's going to be something where maybe it's a live order, like it's called live order, but maybe they're looking for that bit of information on something that's just been placed, or they're looking for a bit of information on an order that's been placed a few days ago, and they're looking to see, what's the story with that order, because maybe the status on the ERP system hasn't directly reflected onto the Webshop dashboard. There are reference lines as well, and it shows an overview of the different number of comments and that kind of occur within those threads, and the company that's actually given that comment to you. And we can see that full list is there. So if there's a need to add in or remove different lines of information here, you can absolutely do that. So if you want to make that screen larger, smaller, add in the customer code, you can absolutely do that. You can chop and change that around how you want. So you can kind of customize that a little bit to how the view what you'd want that view to be for the admin who's actually looking after the communication here. So if I click into one, for example, we can see here this one here. We can see this one here. So this is one that's occurred already. This happened where a customer has logged in and asked, can I part pay for this order? We've said you can indeed. So let's just have a look at, let's log in as a customer and we can kind of experience how that works from their perspective. So I'm going to sign in and go up to my account. So I'm going to go into quotations first of all. I'm going to just use one that I have already. There's no point in this. I could go and place an order and choose it to be a quote type on the checkout page, but for the purposes of this, I'll use one that I've already exists. So let's say I've placed this order, you know, and it's a quotation for one Xbox. The price is €100. Yeah, you know, there's a customer reference that's been added in. If I wanted to add in a comment here of like, could you do a price of €90 if I take 50? So that shows on the customer notification. Now, if I go back in here, I can see if I go into service desk under comments. So I'm logged in as an admin. I can see that. Concurrently, and we'll show the notifications now in a moment. I am getting notifications. I can hear my phone hopping beside me here that I've gotten a notification. That's no problem. I will amend that quotation for you now. Again, that customer will have just received. I will have received a notification of that update. The idea is that somebody would then jump into their ERP system, and then you know they'll be able to, if they change, these quotations are done in real time. So if somebody changes the quantity to 50 and the quantity to 50 and the price to 90, then this updates in real time, so that somebody can then, once that changes, convert it to an order, and then they convert it to an order. They just check out with that's in the cart, that new price is in there, and then the customer just checks out like normal. So that's just kind of normal flow, normal process. In terms of other aspects, so that was just for quotations. We can see the same thing if we look in at service desk. We can see the same thing if we go here. We just have to enter that. Now, so another one would be, say if I'm a customer and I want to go into the order history. Again, it's just kind of knowing the practicalities. Like depending on the ERP system, we might have different statuses. On the likes of SAP, for example, I think by default it's open and closed. There could be more statuses, as in like when you place an order, it's open until it's like shipped and gone. It's not closed yet. That might be different depending on, you know, there might be some on the system where we're using multiple order statuses for SAP on the likes of say Intact IQ or Sage. There's different order statuses that we can use, so shipped, part picked, written off, etc. Some, not all are used, but like we can certainly get back the list of standard statuses. For example, if it was an IQ user and they were looking at one that's part picked, they might be wondering, well, why have I gotten an order 2 days ago for half the shipment and I'm still waiting on the other half the shipment? Now, chances are that there's probably some sort of documentation on their delivery note that's been sent to them that details that, but maybe it's just it hasn't kind of gotten up to that person through their business. It's come into the warehouse and maybe the docket's lost, or maybe it didn't get stuck to the side of the box. Who knows? But here you can at least look up that order, see that it's in the status of part picked, click on a particular order, and then say, hi, I have not received this order yet. Please advise. We can see there order number 4783. Again, I'm getting some notifications there. There's one on a live order. Again, it's called live order because it's on order history. I will check for you right now. And we can see there, that's the admin getting back. And it's much the same thing for, what you call it? It's much the same thing on the finance element of it. So if somebody is querying a specific invoice, currently the way this works is for invoices where the template is generated on our side, as in there are some ERPs where we generate like the actual like PDF invoice. So the way this feature currently works is that out of the box, it only allows us to place a comment on invoices where we use like our own template. So if I click in here, for example, this is like very much like it's pulled in, it's information pulled from an ERP from standard fields, but it's put into like a template that's designed by us. But we can see here the comments box is here. Obviously, if it was something got to do with an actual PDF from an ERP, there's no section for us to add a comment in. So that's why it's separated in that regard. But it's much the same thing here. This guy, I can just say for this, hey, I talked to you on another comment and I asked for 50 at 90. And we can see there under the invoice, there's a reference. And I can say, oh, sorry about that. We'll update you now. And there we go. Now, I'm just going to pause my screen and just show you an email, just one of the more recent ones that just come in. Now we can see that there should be seeing my screen. So yeah, you can see that's just one of the comments of kind of how it comes in. But yeah, I hope that makes sense and it's been fairly informative. I won't take up too much more of your time. I'll go back to our presentation and I'll see if I can take any questions if there are any questions. Just give me 1 second. And let me see if we have any. You're a quiet bunch. I think I just have the one. So is there any option to extend this? Sorry, this is from Paul. is there any option to extend this into anywhere else on the web shop? There is. We're looking to extend this into kind of general inquiries, and then maybe a few other sections of the web shop kind of going forward. There's a plan for phase two. I think it'll probably be something that we can probably share over the next few months. With you, it's mostly just kind of conceptual at the moment. But yeah, no, there are some plans to be able to kind of see where else we can bring Service Desk into as well. How we use the notifications. At the moment, it's kind of like phase one, so we'll be certainly able to kind of improve upon this going forward. But we do feel that for the moment, it's certainly a good launch avenue to allow you guys to be able to kind of open up that sort of dialogue and communication with your customers. Okay, I don't see any more, so we might just call that. Thanks very much for jumping on, guys. Like I said, it was just a quick one today. Usually I kind of jump on and keep you for the best part of an hour, so it's just short and sweet. So thanks everyone. The customer success team will be here bringing more content and some training refreshers, new product features in these webinars, approximately, if not once a month, every kind of bi-monthly sort of time for the foreseeable future. So stay tuned for more content. As mentioned, we'll be replying to any additional comments or emails that may come in. Most of you have my number or my email address. It's there on the slide. So if there's something that just pops into your brain afterwards, feel free to give me a shout. If you want to view any other of our webinars, please go on to assist.afix.software. All of our webinars are in the webinar section, but also there's just a wealth of information there for product guides, information that should be useful to anyone who's using Webshop for a while now, or who's just a newbie and who's after getting brought on board recently. But either way, drop us a line, give me a shout, and if there's any way we can be of any assistance or help you get the most out of your product, please do let us know. Be delighted to help you. Thanks very much. See you. Bye-bye.